members on board the International Space Station starting at 6:35 a.m. Central Time. This is really the middle of the day for the Expedition 70 crew members and Axiom Mission 3 crew members. Right after the welcome ceremony, their day is not quite done. All crew members will participate in an initial International Space Station safety briefing, just to ensure they're up to date with the latest information and the freshest information as they proceed about the rest of their day. Some of the crew members will then enjoy a lunch, while the remaining crew members are briefed by the International Space Station Expedition 70 Commander Andreas Mogensen, who will brief the private astronauts who have just been welcomed on board the International Space Station Axiom Mission 3. Astronauts will get a briefing from the commander. Afterwards, the Axiom Mission 3 astronauts will proceed with cargo unloading and some initial experiment and equipment setup before the end of their day. Tomorrow, Sunday, is a relatively light day for the Expedition 70 and private astronaut crew members, continuing with some cargo transfer ops, but setting up some initial experiments and enjoying a lighter day before they really hit the ground running for their first week aboard the International Space Station. Axiom Mission 3 is expected to be a 14-day mission. Right now we're targeting approximately February 3rd, pending weather, for the undock opportunity for the Axiom Mission 3 astronauts to leave the International Space Station and splash down off the coast of Florida. But of course, starting Monday, we'll begin a myriad of scientific and education activities for them to complete. All this work has been timelined in months in advance to coordinate the schedules of 11 crew members on board the International Space Station to ensure there is a seamless transition of using different scientific experiments and facilities, and that 11 crew members can get an incredible amount of science and discovery done in a short amount of time.
SpaceX in Houston from Freedom on the Big Loop. We're complete through step 8 of Q.102.
Houston copies.
And SpaceX copies.
Axiom Mission 3 crew member and mission specialist aboard Dragon, Marcus Want, coming into frame. We'll start seeing all 11 crew members come into frame as they close out some of their activities. We're expecting to begin the welcome ceremony on time in just about 3 minutes.
Station Houston on the Big Loop. We are 2 minutes out from the event. station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
We are ready for the event.
Please begin the welcome ceremony. Andy, Houston on 2. Can you check the mic, please?
On behalf of the Expedition 70 crew, I'd like to welcome Axiom 3 on board the International Space Station. This is an incredibly exciting time for human spaceflight with the third private mission, which is allowing many more countries to participate in the scientific research and technology development that we do on board this orbiting laboratory. We have doubled the number of nationalities on board the space station, going from 4 to 8, which I think is a great testament to the international collaboration which underpins this marvelous space station. I'm also very proud as a European to welcome 4 other Europeans. I think this is the first time in the history of the space station that we have 5 Europeans on board at the same time. And certainly it's the first time that we have 2 Scandinavians on board. So I'm very happy to welcome my fellow Scandinavian, Marcus. But we look forward to the next 2 weeks, to an intense period of work on board the space station. So a big warm welcome to Axiom 3 from us on board the space station.
Thanks, Andy. I think you said it very well. This is really a symbol of how Axiom, in conjunction with NASA and all the partners, is working to expand human access to low Earth orbit. And we've got, as Andy said, so many nationalities represented on board, and this is really symbolic of what we're trying to do to open it up not only to other nations, also to individuals, to researchers, to continue the great work that's been going on board the ISS for the last 2 decades plus. The ride uphill was pretty exciting. Never gets old. I think we probably spent a few more hours in Dragon than we felt like we needed to, but it was all good. Great vehicle. Thanks to you at SpaceX for putting that thing together for us and for such smooth operation. Let me pass the microphone down to my crewmates just for a couple words, and then I'd like to get it back at the very end if that's okay. Walter?
Yeah. Thank you, Mike. I want to, first of all, thank the expedition crew for this warm welcoming. It's amazing to be up here and to see how much really all the countries and this amazing international collaboration has made in space, creating this outpost. And I'm very grateful for Italy, and just a few words in Italian. So thank you, grazie grazie a tutta l'Italia. Vorrei ringraziare non solo l'aeronautica militare ma anche tutte le istituzioni che hanno portato qui questa missione in questo straordinario contesto di collaborazione internazionale in cui abbiamo portato scienza, e per 2 settimane saremo qui a collaborare e lavorare con questo equipaggio internazionale straordinario. Grazie mille, and now I hand over to my colleagues and friend Alper from Turkey.
Thanks so much. I would like to thank first for your kind hospitality to Expedition 7 crew over here. They were waiting for us at the door, actually, so that was a very nice, kind welcoming for us. I would like to thank for everybody for their great effort for us to be able to make it over here in the last 8 months training period, as well as all the counterparts for their contribution for our safe travel to make it over to ISS. We are happy as Turkey to step for the first time in our history, and looking forward to contribute into the science and research efforts over here. And I would like to say a couple words to my country. Türkiye Cumhuriyeti'ni kurarak bizlere emanet eden Gazi Mustafa Kemal Atatürk ve silah arkadaşlarına, bu vatan için canını veren tüm şehitlerimize, buraya adım atmamızı sağlayan güçlü iradesiyle devletimize ve bu imkanları bize sağlayan milletimize şükranlarımı sunuyorum. İstikbal göklerdedir. Now I would like to pass over the microphone to my dear friend Marcus Wandt from Sweden, representing here ESA.
Thank you, Alper. I also want to say first a big thank you to Expedition 70 for greeting us and knocking on our door in the middle of everything. It was pretty amazing. Been flying around and orbiting Earth for 36 hours or so, and then someone knocks on the door. That's pretty strange. And also, I want to say that having this many nationalities on a mission like this, and it just tells me that collaboration can take you very far. Entering the hatch here and meeting other people in space from so many different cultures and places around the world just give me a strong sense of future, which is awesome. I also want to say a few words in Swedish to Sweden. Så hej allihopa där hemma. Det här är förstås en fantastisk känsla. Uppskjutningen var en resa, jag har aldrig varit med om något liknande förut, och sen att få se jorden från ovan och sväva runt och känna att Sverige på ett så kraftfullt och beslutsamt sätt valde att ställa sig långt fram i utvecklingen igen, vilket vi ofta gör, och fortsätter vara ett innovationsland och visa andra att gott samarbete fungerar. För vi har också här pionerat det nya sättet för Europa att ta sig upp och öka frekvensen i rymdutforskningen på ett sätt som vi inte har sett förut. Så otroligt stolt att få representera Sverige och Europa här uppe. All right, thank you. Mike.
So now I'd like to continue a bit of a tradition that we've started, and that is to award the Universal Astronaut symbol pin, if I don't lose it, to each of these steely-eyed aviators. I think it's telling that these will be the 7th, 8th, and 9th people that Axiom has provided pins. In fact, since we started flying in 2022, no agency has pinned more new astronauts. And again, this is symbolic of us trying to open up the access to low Earth orbit to more and more people. So first of all, Colonel Walter de Villadé, it is my pleasure to... No, I'm going to put it on you.
Oh, right. Hey.
You'll be number 609.
Wow. That's a privilege, Mike. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can stabilize myself without messing.
You guys can, if you can slide down and have these guys slide here. Thank you. This is a real pleasure to award this pin to the first Turkish astronaut in history. I don't think I need to say anything more. Alper. Can you hold the microphone?
Yep.
Uh-oh. I actually broke it. There we go. And finally, Marcus. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you, Mike.
I failed to mention Alper obviously is number 610 and Marcus is 611. And finally, I want to thank all of you guys again for welcoming us aboard. I know that it's tough to have guests in your house, and we promise not to spill any red wine on your white carpet. Thank you, Andy.
Once again, welcome, and we look forward to working with you for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be an incredible mission, and we're excited to have guests.
Thank you to all participants and welcome aboard Axiom 3 station. We are now resuming operational audio communications.
All right, 11 astronauts on board the International Space Station working together for science and discovery. It's going to be a very busy and jam-packed couple of weeks with a full space station, but certainly nothing that can't be handled. This will be the third time we have a private astronaut crew on board the International Space Station, the third time we have 11 astronauts as part of this mix as complement of private and government astronauts, and of course the private astronauts representing their own governments, expanding nations to 7 nations right now on board station, conducting science for the benefit, really, of the world. For that, really, that will conclude our coverage here in Mission Control Houston before, of course, the expedition crew and the Axiom Mission 3 astronauts. Really, the journey has just begun. So that'll wrap it up here in Houston. I'll toss it over to Kate for some closing words from Hawthorne.
Thanks so much, Gary. It really was so wonderful to see them all together. Some really nice words there from our commander, MLA. But on that note, we're going to wrap up our live joint coverage of AX-3's arrival to the International Space Station. It's been an honor to support the Axiom 3 mission thus far. We wish Marcus, Alper, Walter, and MLA a successful time on station, and we look forward to joining you when it's time to return home.
Yeah, Kate, from launch to docking, it has been an absolute pleasure sharing this desk with you again, so thank you. Over the course of the crew's time on station, we will be producing mission updates from Axiom's Space Station Development Facility, with Commander Lopez Alegria sharing highlights and special moments with Walter, Alper, and Marcus. So please be sure to visit axiomspace.com and follow the Axiom social media channels for real-time updates.
And with that, on behalf of SpaceX, Axiom Space, and NASA, thank you all for tuning in to watch from wherever you're watching from. With that, good morning, good evening, or good night.